Okay, this is the third time that I'm trying to narrate this video. Um, I'm having issues with my new headset, so forgive me if I don't sound very excited. It is try number 3. So I'm just inking the edges of all these little blocks of pattern paper. I believe I cut them at 2 by 2, but they might be by 2.5 by 2.5. However, I usually cut them 2 by 2 when I use blocks of paper in this the small blocks of paper like this. All the paper I'm using is from the Close to My Heart Sangria paper pack. If you are watching this video at a later date, the link down below for the Close to My Heart supplies may not work, as they do tend to retire their products after a while. So I chose to do a grid layout for this project. I don't usually do grid layouts. It's not my style. However, for this particular layout, I wanted to really feature the Sangria papers and use a lot of the different patterns. And one way I find useful to utilize bolder patterns is to use smaller amounts of the patterns. And also, if you ink the edges around the edges, it kind of keeps them as their own separate entity rather than um, kind of the way I think of it is like them spreading across the page. If you keep them central, they like in their own space, then they don't compete as much with the other elements on the page. In this case, the other elements are going to be the title and the photo. I won't do any embellishing on this introductory page to this next section in my album from my trip. So this is the Hampton Court Palace section, which is one of the biggest sections in my album. I am hoping to film a video this week as well as edit a bunch of videos and upload them scheduled to YouTube about how I put the pages in my album, how I'm keeping track of what stories I want to tell still, what pages I want to scrapbook, what pictures I just want to put on like 12 by 12 cardstock glued to the cardstock, or in divided page protector. I just haven't gotten my divided page protectors yet. They are on their way to me. So here's where I decide that I don't like the way that I had that organized, so I'm going to change it so that it makes a square grid behind my photo, and I do realize in a little while that that middle block is covered by the photo and it really doesn't need to be there, but I leave it. Probably because I had them in a pattern and I wanted to keep the pattern and not mix anything up. So that center one gets glued down off center, but it doesn't matter. See, I fixed it and then I was like, wait a second, that gets covered up anyways. It doesn't matter if it's fixed and straight. So I'm gluing them down with the 1/2 inch Scotch HEG. I love my 1/2 inch HEG. It is much stronger, I find, than the 1/4 inch HEG. So that is why I use it. Those stickers are a gold foil chipboard sticker, and I love them so very, very much. I am almost out of them. I'm still working on them, trying to make as many words as I possibly can, but it's getting increasingly harder. These little tile stickers are by October Afternoon, and I believe they are from the Daily Flash line. I'm not sure if you can still get them. I think October Afternoon has kind of stepped away from making these, but they are just a small tile sticker, so I'm sure you could find something that is similar or equivalent to those small stickers. Tile stickers are probably one of the things that I use the most on my layouts. especially for something like this. For Hampton Court, it's a much longer word of phrase. So if I use the smaller stickers, I can get it to center properly over top of the bigger um, font that makes up Palace. I am gluing down the thickers because um, although they are adhesive on the back, the adhesive is not very strong and the chipboard in particular tends to fall off. So there are a couple options that you can use. You can use a liquid adhesive. I'm using Tombow Mono Multi here, but I usually use Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. Or you could sew them onto your page. I have seen people do that as well. I have not attempted that. I am not very good at sewing, so I don't do it very often on my pages. The only embellishment that I really add to this page is the Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine Mist. I really, really wanted the focus to be on the papers and the picture, and the fact that they are bold patterns. I didn't want to, take away from the picture. I do mount the whole layout on a piece of craft cardstock. I was doing that for the whole album. I have since stopped because I got bored of it very quickly. So I do stop. And I put the adhesive on the craft cardstock rather than flipping my layout over because the gold color shine is still wet. So I just put the adhesive in the center of the craft cardstock, and that's more than enough to hold it. And since I cut it with scissors, I did not cut it properly, so here I am fixing it up so that there's a border on the other side. So that is the layout. It's super simple and it'll be quicker for you if you're used to making these style layouts. I will link everything down below in the description box, including a link to my blog and Close to My Heart page. Thanks for watching. Bye!